wanted to just real quickly, Rachel. So you guys got those postcards and the gift bags that you received. All of that was donated by way of Rachel and Book Angel. So Book Angel is an organization, and actually I'll have her tell you about it. But it's been around for about how long now?
Officially as a 501c3 the last 10 years.
Let me have her tell you about it, Book Angel.
Hello everyone. I am Dr. Rachael Yvonne Davis. I am the managing partner of United Global Enterprises, and what Keisha mentioned before, I am a coach and consultant. I'm a fractional executive. So what that means is organizations, companies who are trying to figure out how to grow, how to monetize their messaging, things like that. Sometimes you just need a person who gets it and has that it factor, who understands strategy and branding and placement. And so that's where my gifting and where my superpower lies. And so she stays on my head. Sometimes, you're given a divine assignment, and, Keisha and I, we connected over, 20 years ago, and have been friends ever since and have supported each other just throughout our journey. And so whenever she brought this to me, immediately I saw the vision and the big picture, and I catch a download of God, so whispers something in my ear, and I'm on it. I am obsessed with it. So we meet at least twice a week, and we've been meeting for quite some time, and the acceleration in the growth that she's had since us working together, it has been absolutely amazing. I'm extremely proud. I have no words for it sometimes, because I tell her all the time, I'm just so proud, I'm fit, And I'm talking about her, the things that she's doing in so many different ways. Keisha, as you all know, she has been heavily involved in the community. Since we all have known her, she's been heavily involved with artists and helping, and it is just her time. And so the way that I approach the project and us working with her is just, I'm doing everything in my power. God has put you into my life in this season to grow this ministry, this blessing, and come heck or high water, no wrinkling, no anything, it's going to stop it from being successful. And so if I see something and I see the vision, I see the line, even if I have to go after it myself, I'm not just telling her what to do, I'm rolling up my sleeves, I'm making phone calls, sending emails, I'm setting appointments, and she has been winning. She is booked for a conference that's been around for over 40 years, and they have booked her, and they're going to compensate her and bring her out to 60%. She's presenting this conference in front of an audience of community directors and leaders. So these are directors and executives and operators of senior community centers. So this is something that is extremely relevant. It's needed. We need everybody to touch the tree and go home and put this on the prayer closet. Bring it up on Wednesday night services. Bring it up on Sunday in the morning service and the evening service, and then go down here in the text message groups. I don't know how to do it. And she taught you how to use your AI. So you can go to the AI prompt and then talk to the AI and say, go ahead and make a positive affirmation, and we can sit down and talk about each other about this program. Because as Keisha gives and she grows, and as we work to get this program implemented and launched with the cities around town and with these other corporations backing us, she's also bringing this into our communities in places where typically we would not be afforded to these opportunities because of the cost, right? So this is an extremely valuable program, and we need to share it, and we need to push. Because it's like one of the things I always say, can't nobody take care of us the way that we can take care of us. But it does in fact take money to do ministry. It does in fact take money to run profitable businesses. And when we run our businesses profitably, and when we get into alignment, and we do things in decency and in order, we're also able to create even greater opportunities for our communities. So through this program, there's no reason why it can't be fully staffed by, say, other young people that look like us, other people who may be in need of work. Yes. We've created the jobs. We've created small businesses, and historically it is small businesses that help with the economy. So I understand what's going on in office now, but that does not have to be our story. That does not have to be what we choose to lean into, right? So let's look at my business and philosophy, and I'm trying to go with enterprises. Now go back and talk about Book Angel. Okay, Book Angel. So Book Angel has been around for over 20 years, and it's a family passion project. My mom, she couldn't be here today, but she did call Keisha to talk to her. Miss Kathy is a former educator, And what's really amazing about the program and what my mom did with Book Angel, she realized as a master reading teacher that children were not reading and they were not comprehending where they were supposed to be because they lacked books in the home. So, she would get these kids and they would not even know how to read a book, they wouldn't know how to hold a book, and it wasn't that they weren't smart or that they weren't capable, it was literally because they did not have books. So with the family, what we started doing was, we would collect books. And she and I, we cut out these little angel die cards. They had a little machine, look, give away my age now, but you put the machine down, you would press it, and it would be in the shape of an angel, or it would be in the shape of a book. And then we would help the kids, or we would have them, you put your first and your last name on the paper, you put your age on there, and then you tell us things or fun facts that you like. And so we would take these die cuts, and we would ask people, or we would go to the church and hang them on the Christmas tree, and we would say, hey, instead of giving a kid toys, give them a book. That's one of the greatest things that you can give the gift of, is the gift of education, or the gift of exploration of some topic or thing that they're interested in. It became hugely, grossly successful, right? And so it started one classroom, my mom's classrooms, and it grew. And it turned into us giving books to like the entire hallway. So all of the kindergartners, all the first graders, the fourth graders, the fifth graders. Okay, we got this school and that school. And we just did it. And we never had to ask really hard for the books and the resources. My mom was the teacher that, she came in early, and we stayed late. And when she stayed, we stayed late. That means I stayed late too. So when I got through my athletics, I would come sit in the corner, knock out my homework, and I would help her grade papers. Or we would, and she was that teacher, well, you stay here, I gotta go make a run. She was the type of school teacher that would pull up to kids' houses, right? Oh, you thought I wasn't, I brought your homework, do your homework, or she would get an understanding our relationship, with parents. And so she built this reputation of actually caring. And she built a community at these different schools that she worked at, that it didn't matter what my children looked like, what the community came from. Like, it takes all of us to make sure that our kids are okay, right? And they're the future. They're the ones who are going to take care of us. So with that, the janitors, the lunch ladies, even other little kids, like when they would have their lunches, they would bring their cartons of milk and their little peaches to her classroom. They would sneak it out the cafeteria and hold it. And they go, here you go, Miss Hopkins Davis. And she had a cabinet. And so we would fill the cabinets with the extra food and the milk, got a little refrigerator, and it didn't matter where that kid was, who that kid was. If somebody was hungry, they never went hungry if Miss Kathy Hopkins Davis was a teacher at that school, right? Some of our children, they were going through things like their parents, they worked terrible jobs. Some students, they were literally protecting brothers or sisters, when they were in school. And so when they came to school, they were exhausted. She didn't penalize them, and she would not let the school penalize them. She would find a way to take those children and maybe hide them under her desk and let them take a nap and just rest. And then she would stay late after school and make sure that they got their lessons and teach them how to read. And so she's very affirming, very, very, very passionate. If you know my mother, some people say she's militant. No, she cares. And she was given an assignment, and she stood in that assignment. And so when my mother had her health challenges, she got diagnosed with cancer, she had a stroke, it forced her into retirement. And upon her retirement, even in the hospital, she kept crying and talking about her kids. And so I knew then at that time that there was something else, and that we could take this pain that we've experienced, we could take all this life and this purpose that we had, and there was more to it. It wasn't going to end there. And so that's when we decided to officially make Book Angel a 501c3. And that's what you all see here today. And so from time to time, the board of directors, they let me come in and they let me implement things. And not say that I have to do say, and I do what I have to do and I move, but since us starting and making Book Angel an official 501c3, we've been able to collect and distribute over 200,000 books and millions of dollars in in-kind donations and resources. So these things, they just naturally attract themselves to us. And I say it attracts to us because I believe that God trusts us to do the right thing with the resources that we receive. And so we can be a conduit, we can be a gateway, and we are absolutely proud and thrilled to be working with Keisha, to even have her as a legacy advisor, a part of Book Angel. As we get more resources and funding and we get tech supplies and things, we're putting it back into this community and into our communities because it's absolutely needed. And I just look forward to growing and sharing more. I know I've talked a lot. I didn't expect all this to come out like this. Lord said, say it, Lord. I said, okay. And so, even as we do things overseas and in South Africa and Ghana, we're sponsoring the library there. We have another book thing going on in South. It's so much that's going on. We just look forward to connecting and collaborating with all of you all and making this successful. And I just, I think we all should just reach out and our hands to Keisha. We need to put some energy on her right now because it is happening. It's coming. You have done the work. You have been faithful. You've been obedient. And God, we just thank you right now. Cover her from the top of her head to the bottom of her little bitty feet. Let nothing stress her out, worry her, protect and shield her family from the car she drives to her home to how she lays down. Just God, we just want you to cover her and bless her and give her absolute favor. Let every expense that may come up that may need to be covered, we just thank you in advance because it is done and it is so. It is in Jesus' name we say just thank you, and amen.